Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I did a video in Horizon 6 to see which car from the Time Attack DLC was the fastest, and the Nissan Silvia absolutely walked it. And then I had the idea, there are quite a few other extreme race cars in the game that aren't part of the DLC, either because they're not hill climb cars or or Time Attack cars, whatever, or they're just not in the DLC, whatever. So I've got, basically, there's 6 other cars that I have, which I know is not as many as the last video, and I know there's still plenty more in the game that I could use, but these are the only ones I have currently, and I felt that was enough to do a part 2 of this video, so that's what I've done. So this one is basically just, racing the Silvia against all the other sort of extreme race cars in the game. The only rule I had is it had to be R-Class, because the Silvia was R-Class, and if it was anything less than R-Class, I feel like it just wouldn't be fair. Um, so yeah, they're all R-Class. Um, and I compared them to the Silvia's lap. So, obviously, there's 6 cars were tested. Um, obviously, the Silvia wasn't tested again. I just used the time from last time. So, of the 6 cars that were tested, we will go in reverse order from slowest to fastest, and then I will announce where the Silvia came in that list. Obviously, you may remember from the previous video, but if you don't, that's fine. I'm going to tell you anyway. So, in 6th place, with a time of 46 seconds, 0.479, was the Pagani Huayra R. My biggest gripe with this car is you cannot see anything out the windscreen. It's not too bad when you're going right, but if you're going left, the roll cage protrudes so much of your view that you can't see at all. That's why I'm rewinding so much in the clip. I had to, because I couldn't see the apex to the corner, so I ended up taking the wrong line through that corner and going off the track. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to drive in first person view. I feel like if you were going to, you'd have to mess with the field of view. You just have to. Um, but yeah, other than that, it just wasn't that quick, to be honest. I was quite disappointed by it. It just didn't handle that great. I mean, it wasn't that difficult. It wasn't like the Supra, where it was just unbelievably twitchy. It just didn't. It just didn't really corner that well. Like almost like it didn't have much downforce, which is odd considering it's not a street legal car. Um, but yeah, it's just weird because it genuinely felt slow. Like again, it was perfectly fine in a straight line, but yeah, the cornering speed just really, really let it down, which is a shame, really, because I really wanted to like it, but I just didn't get on with it. And then with the combination with the surprisingly poor performance and the very limited visibility, I just avoid it, to be completely honest. I mean, it sounds alright, but it's not worth it, to be honest. Yeah. So, 5th place on the list is the car we got in the car pass a few weeks ago. The Datsun 240Z Time Attack car. Now this one has a V8 engine, which I'm guessing is probably from a Nissan Patrol or something. It's a 5.8, I think. So it probably would be a Nissan Patrol. This one I got a time of 46.062. This one felt a lot quicker than it actually was. It's very weird because it absolutely flies through the corners. It sticks to the road. It handles like it's in a cartoon. I was very surprised that it was that slow. I thought it would be right up there, but no, it's 46 seconds. I was very disappointed. I was trying to work out, like, maybe, I mean, it was a little bit down on power compared to the Silvia, but like I said, it was really quick in the corners, and I don't feel like the cornering speed would... I feel like the cornering speed would more than make up for the 150 horsepower difference. Or 200 horsepower difference, whatever, but I guess not. So yeah, that was another one that I was a little bit disappointed by. It did sound good. It sounded very nice, actually. Big, proper throaty V8, but yeah, just not as quick as it felt. It felt a lot quicker than it was. Yeah, a bit disappointed in that one. Right, 4th place, the Mazda Furai. Now this car doesn't actually exist. Well, it did, but not anymore. It blew up. caught fire at Top Gear when Top Gear had it, of all people. 45.645. So it's nearly a second quicker than the Huayra, and it's only got. I mean, to be fair, considering the amount of power that the Furai got, which is only 473, that's really not bad. You know, it's severely down on power compared to everything else we've tested, and it was nearly a second quicker than the Huayra, which has got like 800 horsepower, I think. So yeah, it's very impressive that it did that well. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing the case with that one, it was just lack of power. I mean, it's very quick in the corners, handles beautifully, very planted, sounds very unique as obviously that triple rotor, which is practically unheard of in road cars. In fact, the only road car I think had a triple rotor was the Unos Cosmo with the 20B engine, which is actually what they used as a basis for the engine in the Furai, if you didn't know. But yeah, so 45.645, considering it's got less than 500 horsepower, I think that's pretty damn good, in all honesty. But it's definitely the car's handling that made up for it. Although it is very light, so it's not exactly a slow car, but obviously if it had more power it would have been further up. But yeah, what can you do? Now, third place, I was kind of bummed about this one. I really wanted this to be further up, but it's the Alfa Romeo SE048SP, the car we got in the Italian Exotics or Italian Passion Pack last week, DLC car. I really thought this would do better, but it got a 43.643, so it's a good 2 seconds quicker than the Furai, but it was still only third of the cars we tested today. So I'm guessing logically it's probably down to the car's age. I mean, it is old. It's 1991, I think, so it is old. The technology is outdated, and although it doesn't weigh anything, it's got 680 horsepower, which again is quite low down compared to the cars we've tested. So I guess it was down on power and old technology. The only thing that really brought it up is the fact it didn't weigh anything. Like, I think it was like 600 kilos or something stupid. I know, probably more, 800 actually. I know, I didn't check. But anyway, it's very light. But my god, did it sound good. It sounded like a Formula 1 car, like a 90s F1 car. Which logically would make sense, because Ferrari F1 team, Alfa and Ferrari are basically the same company. So it probably was a Ferrari engine, actually, logically. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed that that didn't do better, but logically, I think that's probably the best I would have got out of it. Right, second place. Now this one is... I personally feel like I could have gone quicker. And I think this car genuinely is probably the best shout at beating the Silvia. It's the Toyota Tacoma, or Tacoma, whatever, Forza edition. Again, I know this car doesn't technically exist in real life. It's made specifically for the game, but it is damn quick. And it's a pickup truck, so it got a time of 42.892. I do think I could have knocked at least half a second off. And it's not that it's a difficult drive as such. It's just I personally think I could have done better, but whether it will beat the Silvia, I don't know. So yeah, that was the Tacoma. Yeah, I mean, there's not much I'll say. I always used to use that car for speed zones and stuff because it is seriously overpowered. And because it's four-wheel drive as well, it's actually pretty easy to drive. It doesn't really break traction, and when it does, it's controlled. It doesn't just kick the arse out like a rear-wheel drive car would. So I think the best bang for buck is probably the Tacoma, because like I said, it's very, very easy to drive, and I think, if I remember correctly, it is faster. Yeah, it is quite a bit faster than the Skyline time attack car that we had in the first video. So yes, it's definitely the one I'd have, the one I'd use for the majority of things. And because it's four-wheel drive, it'd be that little bit better in the rain as well. Even though it's got slick tyres, so it'll still be useless, but it'll be slightly less useless than a rear-wheel drive car. But anyway, first place for today's cars is the Ferrari FXXK Evo, specifically the Welcome Pack DLC edition. Now, I don't know if this is actually any faster than the standard one. I don't have the standard one, so I can't compare. but it did a time of 42.692, so it wasn't that much quicker than the Toyota, which does make me think that those two are kind of give or take either way. But again, I feel like the Ferrari could have gone quicker. It was actually quite a pig to drive. The steering is not very responsive compared to the other cars. Like, it actually takes quite a long time to turn. Like, with the time attack cars, when you put the stick to the right, it goes on full lock pretty much instantly, but the Ferrari doesn't. It takes quite a bit of time. So that chicane part of the track, it's actually quite a pain to do it, because when the left-hand turn is coming up, the car is still turning right. So you kind of have to like plan ahead. But yeah, I was surprised I managed to get it that quick, to be honest. I didn't think it would be that quick. But yeah, 42.692 for the Ferrari. Again, it sounds pretty good. I think on balance the Alpha probably sounds the best, closely followed by the Furai and then the Ferrari, and then I guess the 240. The Huayra sounds much better in real life than it does in the game. It sounds a bit wet in the game. And then the Takuma, it's just a V6. It doesn't sound special. It's, you know, I do find it hilarious how the V6 and the Takuma red lines at 6,100 RPM. It's like, it has over 1,000 horsepower. How did it only redline at 6,000? Anyway, so that's the cars we tested today, and in case you couldn't remember, the time that the Silvia got was 42.041, so it was a good, nearly, well, like 0.7 of a second quicker than the Ferrari, nearly. Like, just under 0.7 of a second quicker than the Ferrari. Which is, you know, it goes to show how bloody quick that Silvia is. But I'm surprised. I still can't comprehend how the 240 was so slow. I really thought it'd be quicker than that. It genuinely felt a lot quicker. But I am wondering, maybe the straight line speed just wasn't up to cop. I don't know. Again, the Fiora, I feel like that was let down by its lack of power. The Alpha, again, by lack of power and its age. And then the Huayra, just partly because I couldn't see where I was going, and also it just lacked downforce, and you can tell when driving it, it just didn't want to go around the corners. So yeah, that's the updated list. I might do like a Top Gear power lap board for all the times. Obviously I know there are a few other cars I need to get. Obviously you've got the Aston Martin Valkyrie, AMR Pro, the Time Attack Lotus, all the other Forza Edition cars like the A86. I do have the Mazda MX-5 Forza Edition, but I haven't driven that yet. But I don't think it's an R class because it didn't pop up. So yeah, I don't know how quick that is default. But yeah, but yeah, the A86 again. It depends. Any R class vehicle. So the Elise Time Attack, the obviously 787B as well, and the Evo Time Attack. Obviously they're both barn fine, so I just have to wait till I've got them. But yeah, I will do a part 3 at some point once I've got more vehicles to test against. Maybe if I can get maybe if I get the standard FXX as well, see if it's any slower than the welcome pack. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like the video, do consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one, whatever that may be.